Hi, welcome to tutorial number 29 for CSCI 130 Introduction to Programming here at the University of Wisconsin Parkside. We are now going to implement the app that is being described in chapter 11 from our textbook, in which they want us to practice the use of the for loop that we just described in our previous tutorial. Okay, so they give us the description of the app in the textbook with that example, and then they even give us a formula how that we're going to compute the interest and what is it that the information that we need. And then for that, they present on figure 11.1 um, um, the form that they want us to use. So you see there is a form, there are some labels and text boxes in the bottom. So I already have opened my Visual Basic application. I already have a form. In my form I changed the title. I put in interest calculator. I got 1 2 3 4 labels. My labels, I changed the font to Times Roman 12 and bold. Now I got here two regular text boxes. Now they want us to work with a numeric up and down control for the years instead of a text box. So we're gonna look for that in the toolbox, and then it says here numeric up and down. So I'm clicking on that, and then I'm putting that over here. And what this does, we can press now F5 and see how that looks. So what this does is that now we got numbers. So for years, we just select the year that we want to, and then we execute it. Okay, going back over here, they also have a text box here which is gonna display the answer. So we gonna have a text box. Need one more. So over here, now this text box, we're gonna do something similar to what we did in a previous tutorial. So we're gonna go and look for, it says multiple here multi-line. We change that to true, and the scroll bars says none. We're gonna put the one that says both there. So we got something like this. So we got enough space depending on the number of years. Now something else that I just noticed that I don't have, they have a button that says calculate. So I'm gonna expand over here, and then add a button right here, and I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna say calculate. Now I'm gonna also change the font. I'm gonna go with a Times New Roman bold 12. Okay, there. So I'm done with my form. Okay, so now what we need to do before we program, we need to kind of understand what we're doing. So let's go back to figure 1.11. So I think we got the form, but then they have an example on figure 11.2. So look at that. We're expecting from the user to give us an amount here, which is the principal, an interest rate, which in this case is 2%, the number of years, 10 years, and then it gives you that, okay, after year one it's gonna be 1020, and then it's computed the interest after the number of years. So it's just gonna display. So the only thing that we need to do is execute the formula that was given here, that a equals p, which is the principal, times 1 plus the r, which is the interest with the number of years, multiple times. So it would be great if we use this with a for loop, because a for loop is going to be a way of repeating something. So we're going to execute the formula, in this case 10 times, because that's the number that is there. So they also give us an answer of the figure 11.15, so we're going to use their ideas. So that makes sense that we need variables for principal, rate, amount, output. So let's see, I think I'm going to modify that as needed. So principal and rate, I think that makes sense. So I need one to read this and this information. And I'm not sure, well, we're gonna need the amount because we're gonna be computing something with the formula. Okay, so let's go with the first three. So we got principal and rate and amount. So let's define those variables. So we go here, so I'm gonna double click on the button, and then I'm gonna define variables. Principal as decimal, and then I think they call that rate as, well, you know what, I'm gonna call that interest as a double, and amount as decimal. Okay, I think that's enough. So I need those, and then we need to check that with the text boxes. So let's see, we are going to read the principal from one of text box and then the rate from the second text box. So let's say principal equals numerical value from my first text box and interest equals a numerical value from the second text box. And if we look at the example that they have here, you see that they're inserting on the text box the year, amount on deposit. So I think that's what they're doing when it says here output. They have year, then they have some space, and then amount on deposit. Okay, so let's do the same, but they're defining output as a string for the answers. I'm gonna do that in the text box. So let's see, so this is my text box 1, this is my text box 2, and this is my text box 3. Okay, so on my text box 3 dot text, we're going to insert back over here year. So we want it to look like this, so we want to put year, oops, and we're gonna concatenate this with the so we need some space, so we're gonna say control charts, control characters. So this is like when we want to define a space. In this case, we're gonna tab, I'm gonna say tab, and then we concatenate that with the word amount on deposit. So we define another string, so we say amount on deposit, and we want to go to the next line. So again, we're going to use the control charts dot new line. Okay, so we already are able to read the information for principal, for interest, and the text box. So let's test. Oops, I got some errors. So let's see if I can find it. Probably didn't close one of the quotes. No. Oh, here. I'm sorry, I didn't finish that. So that new line, I thought I did. There. Okay, now it's okay. Okay, now if so now I'm able to read the data here. So, but I'm not calculating anything yet. But when I do calculate, I'm already able to display this on top. So now what I need to do next, and I'm doing that on the next tutorial because we already have 10 minutes on this, is that we need to uh, work on the for loop, read the number of years, use that on the formula, and put the data over here. Okay, so we'll continue on the next tutorial on that.